We are here to make people feel good about themselves. We really have to feel like we are a day maker for the guest. You've made my day. How great is that when you hear those words from your guest?
Hey everybody, this is the DayMakers Podcast. I'm the host, David Dolce, along with one of my mentors, Larry Foster. We get to do this together for the first time. I'm really excited, but today I'm super excited. We're interviewing our admissions team from Tricoci University. I was once part of their team. I will be forever. Welcome, Erin, Alex, and Angela. How you doing today?
We're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's start off by telling everybody what your roles are with admissions and what excites you about what you do.
Wow. That's a loaded question because I could talk for hours. Lots of things excite me, but my role, I am the regional director of admissions. I'm also responsible for education partnership, and I oversee 6 of our campuses. What excites me about the position is the opportunity to be the front lineman of someone making a career change, a life change that could just take them into a whole different trajectory. So that's the exciting part for me personally. Yes.
So same position, regional director of admissions, and what we enjoy most is being able to change lives.
Yep.
Every
it's
single
really all
day.
about admissions.
Every single day, yes, we get to do that.
Yeah, I always tell people that what it means so much to me that there are people walking around this earth that at some point in their life have said to themselves, Erin Baker helped change my life. And that is just extremely meaningful.
That is huge.
Yes.
That is huge.
Which is, it's incredible because, having, special story about Alex, he was actually a student when I was a teacher. So I've watched him grow through all those different phases and see him change his life. Watching a student like that mature, and it all starts with admissions. So somebody who's interested in Tricoci and coming to school here, tell us what that process looks like.
It's actually very unique, unlike the traditional environment where you literally will, inquire about our program. And then you would actually speak with someone personally. So it's not just a matter of doing an application online, which is the traditional method, answering essay questions and you're accepted or you're not. This is more on a very personal approach where the advisor, our admissions advisors, those are the individuals that we lead, they talk to the prospective student, uncover some of the interest, the passion, to make sure it is a right fit, but also talk about some things that may be challenging for them to help them overcome it. So it's a very, very quaint environment when we speak with them. It's just us and the student the prospective student, I should say, just kind of walking through the process. So I think that is what is the game changer for Tricoci University. Not many schools are doing that these days.
And I like that. So when we're talking about that interview process, why do we feel like it's so important for the students to go through that interview process?
We always have to find their wants and desires and figure out what they really want, what they're looking for. So that's why we take such good care of them, and we focus so much on getting to know the student, what it is that they want, what is their goals, desires, what do they want to see in the future, maybe 2, 3, 5 years down the line, because at the end of the day, we are here to help them truly not only change their lives, but their kids' life, and it trickles down. It's really a generational thing that this makes such a big impact that, that's why we have to take our job so seriously, because we do have that power to do that every single day.
You know what, Larry? It's a discovery session.
Yeah.
And some walk away discovering maybe this isn't the route. And that's okay too. But it gives you an opportunity to open up and kind of share. And then we share based on our experience and helps them to discover which path they want to take.
Right. And sometimes this is the correct
Yes.
route.
Oh,
Maybe-
yeah.
Maybe not at this
More
point.
often than not. That's
Right.
exactly right.
So
Yes.
that they eventually come anyway.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That's great.
Mhm.
So, not even just students, but everybody these days. Scheduling, finances, time management, work-life balance, family. There's so much things that you think about and your brain buzzes about when you think about, especially if you're a little bit older, about going back to school. What does Tricoci University do to help people kind of manage that and see what they can do?
I think we have a good number of admissions advisors who are licensed cosmetologists, estheticians, licensed educator. David, you used to be one. And I think it's so special that our prospective students are sitting down with an admissions advisor who has probably been in that same situation.
Yes.
And many of them, we have advisors who were single parents whenever they went to cosmetology school and got their license. So have literally been in their exact same position, and they're able to coach them, in what it is really like because they have that personal experience.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and with our industry, it doesn't matter the age. It's never too late to start. You can start at any point of your journey and become successful. It's all about your desires and wants and what do you really want to do. Just like with anything in life, is what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. If you have the time and the energy, you can accomplish anything that you
Oh,
want.
yeah, I've had 17-year-old students and I've had
Yes.
50-year-old students.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people venture out there and realize that, this is not the route. And we end up, speaking with them, and they've tried all of the busyness and the schedules and thinking that career was the right route. But we have so much flexible scheduling at a lot of our campuses. So it's a good fit. And we just teach you how to manage life.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a second career for me too.
Yes,
So
yes.
and we've had students who've done it as retirement. And for me, it was a matter of, this was something I wanted to do since I was little, but I wasn't aware of what we could do with that. Since I grew up with my aunt being a hairdresser, but hairdressers back then aren't hairdressers now. Or you can be as big as you want to be, as little as you want to be. You can make as much money. You can do it part-time. So we have those people that come in after retirement and they've always wanted to do it. Now's their time to do it. So we have that, and I love that. But tell us about the kind of hurdles that you might hear from a student as far as the admissions process and what's going on in their life, and how do we help them overcome those hurdles?
If you don't mind.
No, absolutely not.
A couple of things. I really feel like many times the biggest hurdle is just fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of, am I going to be good at this? Am I going to embarrass myself? Just fear. And sometimes we can let smaller, I guess, obstacles, get in the way.
Yeah, and they're not
But
as
because,
big
but
as-
really it is that it's just fear. And you talked a lot about future, and I think that our students need to really think, where do they see themselves? And whenever they think of their future and them being happy, what are they doing? And if that is in this industry, is this short-term sacrifice that they're going to have to make
Yeah.
in order to go to school worth the long-term gain? Because there's never going to be a perfect time.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. And I would say to anyone that's fearful, do it scared. Just do it.
I agree.
Do it scared. Don't be afraid to tackle it. You'd be surprised what's on the other side. I mean, I think we've all been in fear factors at some point in our lives. And then you end up like, wow. I mean, we have the obstacles of finance and all of those, but we have every resource available to assist and guide them through the process. Financial is a big thing. People are afraid of it, but it's an investment. And that's how you have to look at it. We invest in everything else that's tangible.
I mean, and
But
we got
this is-
grants.
yes,
we got all sorts of
absolutely.
scholarship
Yeah,
opportunities.
But we'll buy a car, won't we, and take a loan, won't we? Absolutely. But when it comes to the education, we just don't see it because it's not tangible. But the end result is something that will never depreciate when you walk off the lot. How about that?
Yes.
And no one can
yes.
ever take
Take it away from
no
you.
matter what.
Get you a
Yes.
better car.
Yeah.
You better believe it. One of the best investments you can make.
It really
And
is.
some of us have done it multiple times. I know Alex, the multi-licensed, I'm multi-licensed, David's multi-licensed. We have our students who come back because we are all family. And I think we're doing a good job because we are a family and we sit and talk a lot. So if we're actually doing this and talking cohesively, I think that's an accomplishment for us. For that
Yeah,
too,
and
because
Larry,
it's
I
a
just
student.
want to make sure they know we're not all cosmetologists. My background was journalism, but this is, like you said, I never understood the value in this career or what you could do with it, because it's oftentimes like,
I think we need to get your honorary hat.
I think I should be an Oscar. I agree. Now that I do.
You do your own hair and it looks good.
Learned it from the best.
But the fact that the students, because of our family type relationship, goes on to the students, because our students, when they enroll, their admissions advisor is still part of their process even when they're in school.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, and the fact that they have that resource to go back to their admissions advisor, plus the resource of the SSA, the campus director, the leadership team, their educators, you know, we start with that admission process, and they are a huge part of helping us with our student success.
Yeah.
Well,
I appreciate that too.
And that's why it's so important for them to know that we are there for them,
Right.
and we are there for them every step of the way. We just make sure that they have what they need. If they need help finding resources, whatever it is that they need, we try to provide that for them to give them that peace of mind that they need to know that, hey, you have somebody in your corner. You're not doing this alone. Because that's the biggest factor. Sometimes students, they feel like they don't have support, or maybe they have family and friends or people telling them this is not what you should do or move forward. And when they have a big team like us at Tricoci University, always cheering them on and helping them every step of the way for them to change their future, it makes a big difference, and it's impactful in their lives. And I know it did it for myself in my life because of somebody in admissions that helped me through the process and guided me. And that's exactly what we do every day. I've changed my life completely because of it. So it really does make a difference.
Yes.
Never forget your admissions advisor, Erin Baker.
Alex is with Carrie, so we know. So shout out to Carrie too.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's important.
Yes, it is.
So, and I love that.
So do you ever get phone calls from students? I want to go to Tricoci University. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know what I'm going to do. You after all these programs, and then through the discussions, you have a revelation of what's the best fit for them.
Oh, absolutely. Which is one of the endless reasons why the interview is so important. School, like Angela said, is an investment.
Yep.
And if you're going to make an investment, we want to make sure that it's right. So many schools don't have an interview process at all. You apply and you send in your test scores, and you're either, you're in or you're out. Or some schools have an interview process, but it's 100%. Are you good for me? Are you good for the school? But here during our interview process, what we're looking for is, yes, are you a good fit for Tricoci, but is Tricoci a good fit for you? And if you're going to make this investment, are you going to be a successful student, be able to graduate and get that license and be successful out in the industry?
And I love that you mentioned all the different licenses that you can get. How many phone calls do you think you get? Like, hey, I did your cause program. Now I want to be an esthetician, or I did cause. I want to be a barber.
It's often.
Yes.
It really is often that students, and once you get in the school and you start experiencing the different programs, that's when your eyes really get open to other possibilities.
Yeah.
At first, you didn't know anything maybe about skin. You only thought about hair, or you didn't know anything about nails, and you only thought about skin. And once you get in and exposed to these different programs, not only the teachers, but the students and everybody and everything that they do, it kind of piques your interest. That's what happened to me. I started with cosmetology. I didn't know anything about aesthetics. Once I started getting exposed to it, I started getting treatments. Then that opened my eyes to, like, hey, this is another program. And that's what happens to a lot of our students, because we house all the programs under the same school.
Yeah.
They get to see what other programs have to offer, and sometimes they get to experience what the service is like. So at that point, they're able to get full-on experience, and then that's what piques their interest to come back and say, hey, I want to do this. I want to expand. And then when they know that other teachers and staff members, they have multiple licenses, that also motivates them.
That's true,
to come back and be able to expand their services and the possibilities, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So we can go on forever.
Yes.
Because, and quite honestly, you guys make my day every day. I get to interact with you, and I love you guys for that.
We love you.
So, but tell us, let's go down the line. What actually does being a day maker mean to you? So, Angela?
I'll tell you a really quick story, and it made my year. A student who had been through a pretty tough season in her life, and it was a really bad season, like abuse and all of these things that she was going through. And she talked to one of the admissions advisors at one of my locations, and they encouraged her. And she said, I won't be able to do this. I'll try it. She came in, she got a part of the community that Alex was speaking of. We had our educators pushing her, we had students pushing her, the advisor was pushing her. It was tough. I won't even share her whole story, but it was a tough season. And she graduated a couple of weeks ago. And that made my whole day. When I know that I am impacting lives or leading someone, I didn't work with her directly, but or leading someone to impact a life, that makes my life, because that's what, isn't that our purpose really in life, is to help others and elevate them. So yes, that made my whole day.
I love that. And
Yes.
we probably do that a lot more than you imagine.
Oh yes,
With you and your team.
absolutely. You just don't hear it all, but
Right.
it was a great story.
Alex.
Yeah, being a daymaker, I think that's just putting a grain of salt and just doing some like a drop with it can start with a drop and then that trickles out to something so much bigger. And that's the impact that we have.
Right.
And what we do every day, what we do in our role.
Mhm.
And, you know, I've experienced it firsthand. So it's so impactful for me. So it's just being that person there to support one another, to let somebody know you're not alone. You have somebody in your corner. You have somebody that believes in you. Even if you feel like the world out there is not for you or against you, no, you have people in your corner. So being that person that always motivates and inspire others to be better and become better,
Right.
and making their day, because one day can turn into that person's whole life being
Absolutely.
completely different, and that's so impactful, and that's why I love what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that you're talking about something that's like that butterfly effect,
Yeah.
right? And it is huge because a lot of our students, there's a good portion of them that don't have cheerleaders in their lives. And the fact they have all of us,
Yeah.
once they get here to be that cheerleader, I think is tremendous. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that a little bit because, you know, I don't really think of us as day makers. We do make people's day, but more than that, and every employee of Tricoci University, from admissions to educators and student success advisors to COO and CFO, we're life makers. We're future makers. It goes so far and above and beyond
The day.
a day.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Well, we're honored to have you guys here. We love
Honored
it.
to
Thank
be
you
here.
guys.
Talk to you.
It's
Thank you
been
so much.
too long, so the fact that
Yes.
we get to spend this time together is incredible. So, and thank you guys for joining us on the DayMakers Podcast through Tricoci University.
Thank you.